with Black women specifically, it's like, oh, if you don't know what you're doing in your life, go get a degree. I'm not gonna do that. There's only this much I can do to help this huge problem. Deeply sad. If you've actually like worked any other job and it's hard because the knowledge itself is difficult, that's not the same with content. Like if you like these chit chat, get ready with me, stick around. I've already done my hair. It's I'm trying to grow it out right now. So it's like I feel like every 6 months I say I'm trying to grow out my hair. But every 6 months I really do try to grow out my hair. I just get overstimulated and end up cutting it. A lot of people have complimented me on this hairstyle on short hair, and everyone says like it just fits my face the best. But I'm getting over it. I'm getting tired of it. I miss like doing hairstyles, like real hairstyles. So I'm gonna be growing out my hair. Okay, so I started doing content about 5 years ago through TikTok. It's just like I would post during the pandemic, and a lot of things just went viral, especially like my style evolution videos. It was just something to do at the time, and I was still in college, so I had more time. And then once I started working, I was just like, I don't know if this is something I want to actually pursue, and it kind of became stressful in a way because I was really new to content and everything it entailed, and like technically all the things to do, like editing and filming and tech equipment, and everything was just like really overwhelming for me. I began to feel like scripted content wasn't fun. And I think it honestly was just like the overwhelm of everything, like having to learn everything kind of on my own, but not really fully on my own because my partner, he is in tech, so he taught me a lot and actually helped me a lot with like what to get tech wise and like how to use it. It still felt really overwhelming to me and I really didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, but I just kept at it. I definitely did take breaks. I took a lot of breaks, and that's what people say like you shouldn't, because inconsistency is what makes people kind of not want to watch your content. And I definitely experienced that. Like my views fell off. I lost some of my following, that kind of thing, but I really didn't care because I was like, okay, this isn't like real life, to be honest. Like, and it's not like I really don't even know what I'm trying to do with it. So saying all that to say that now I have missed doing content, so I've started again, and I'm figuring out a more healthy balance with it because I think it is something I want to do long term. I work full time, so it's hard to balance content. Like everybody says that, like it's hard to do content when you work full time, which is 100% true because it's just so time consuming. Like it's not actually, people ask me this all the time, like friends and family and stuff. Like they ask me like, oh, I want to do content, like how hard is it? And I'm like, it's not hard at all. Well, it's a little bit hard. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit hard. But the real challenge in it is just how tedious it is. It's not in the like the skill of it. Like if you've actually like worked any other job and you've tried to like be good at it and it's hard because the knowledge itself is difficult, that's not the same with content. Like learning things and having the knowledge base for it is not difficult, at least in my opinion, or at least maybe I'm like more inclined to learning the types of things that it entails, which is like understanding social media and learning how to edit and stuff like that. Like I've always been kind of self-taught. Like I kind of grew up teaching myself how to do a lot of things on like the computer and social media and stuff like that. So like I'm a Canva queen. Like so it really isn't hard in that respect. It's just finding the time to do it is, it's difficult to find the time to do it when you have a full-time job. And speaking of that, I don't think I've ever talked about my full-time job on here, but I am a project manager of a family owned construction business. And so I'm like the second generation owner of the business, I guess you can say. I mean, technically, I don't own it yet because my parents still actively work in the business every day with me. I am being primed to own it one day. And it's just been so so difficult because I started off doing more like just our web design. Like I said, I'm a Canva queen, and I taught myself how to use like Squarespace and Webflow and all these different design, Cargo Collective, all these different web design tools I've taught myself how to use. So that's where I started off in the business, is like with that skill set. But over the years, it's expanded a lot because I've learned more about the business, and I've just been willing to take on more leadership because I do really have a vested interest in learning business itself, like business strategy and business operations. Like that's like my niche. It's something I'm really passionate about, is how to optimize businesses. And I think in the long term, like eventually I would like to do that for other people's businesses if I can. Obviously this right now is taking up so much of my time. It's like working in the family business, and it's if you work in the family business, first of all, let me know in the comments. I would love to talk to more people who do it, because like it's hard for me to talk about my job sometimes because it's so different from all of my friends and other family members, like what they do, and just because it's a small business, it's a family business. What I do on a daily basis like highly depends on like the needs of the business itself. And I like to say that I'm like the most unlucky nepo baby in the world. And I mean that with a grain of salt. I do. Like, I'm not trying to say, like, obviously it's not a bad thing to inherit position in a company. Like, that's obviously not something I'm framing to be a disadvantage in any type of way. But at the same time, the way it operates for me is like, I have a lot of responsibility on a day to day basis, and I just have so much to do that it becomes very overwhelming and tiring. And that's just like where the majority of my energy goes. I do not kind of deal well with it either. Like at the beginning of last year, I was actually hospitalized because I was just dealing with my stress so badly. Sometimes I'm just so jealous of like my friends or just other people who have jobs that are just more cut and dry. Like you have one duty and that's just all you do, and some days you just don't have to be productive, and it's just a little bit more lax because of the fact that you work at like a bigger corporation or just work in a field that's not tied to your family in any way. Like I said, I'm not the best at coping with it. The way I cope with it most of the times is I'm over caffeinated and I exercise like a lot, and that's not obviously not super healthy for your body. I'm trying to find other ways to cope, and I think one of the biggest ways is by creating content for me, because it's a creative outlet. Like I'm naturally a very creative person. I've always been, like my whole life I've always been in art classes, and I've done painting, sculpture, fashion design. Like I've done a lot of different, I guess multidisciplinary artist. That's just not something I get to express in my 9 to 5 job. And so having a healthy outlet for that through content is what's going to help me a lot with coping with my stress. I've been doing a lot of content, like thinking about the strategy of my content, and right now I'm really into doing these kind of like book reports as I'm calling them, because I think first and foremost, I just love education. I love learning. It's something like near and dear to me. Like I just love teaching myself things and learning things. So if I can teach myself and then in the process teach other people as well, it's like even more fun. And so I'm reading Fashioning Identity right now. Insightful book if you're into fashion and fashion theory, like just learning different theories of fashion, learning different research that's already been done in fashion to build upon why things happen and the current trends and all that. Would highly recommend it, and actually like read it with me, because it's a short read too. Like I think the whole book is like 150 pages. I think it's only 9 chapters, so it's nothing too laborious, and I've been just having a really good time reading it and summarizing it and figuring out ways to like make it interesting content while still being educational, because I think that's also a thing that for a while I didn't really understand how to make certain things interesting to other people, because I'm someone that I kind of like more boring things, like and I don't mean boring in the sense that nobody likes what I like. I just mean boring in the sense that I like to read and write. Like those are my favorite things to do. When it comes to fashion, I'm like, how can I make reading and writing in fashion interesting for viewers, obviously? Because you guys are obviously watching me in a more like entertaining way. You're not really watching because you want to clock into school, you know? And so I'm figuring it out, and I'm having fun, because I think something that was missing and why I kind of took a break from content for a while was because I didn't know that much about fashion, so I felt like I was regurgitating the same things over and over, and that's just not what I like to do. I like to be constantly evolving mentally, because that's just who I am as a person. Like, I'm into like self evolution and finding ways to always better myself. I'm doing this backwards by accident because I started powdering before I realized that I didn't do any concealer. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, but I'm really into like self evolution and just constantly getting like becoming a better person. I think that's just like important for me, and it's just the ways in which I cope with the life I have. I find that I'm someone that has a hard time like being in the moment and just taking things day by day, because of the circumstances I'm dealt and the type of person I am. Like, I'm a highly ambitious person, and I feel the best about myself when I am learning and helping others and evolving and stuff like that. It makes me constantly think in the future, and it's hard for me to just be in the present. What works to help that is constantly reminding myself that like I only have to be 1% better every day, and I can work on my habits, and those are things that are in the now, you know. It grounds me in the now, and it makes it feel less overwhelming to live life, you know, because there's so much going on in the world right now, like genocide and starvation and all types of things that we've become so vehemently aware of because of social media. And like I said, I'm on social media a lot, and I'm paying attention to those things, and I'm someone that like is deeply empathetic, so it's easy for me to literally feel horrible, and like not about myself, but just horrible that those things are happening in the world, and like want to do something about it. And you know, I donate where I can, I share links, that kind of stuff, but like I talk about it with friends and family. But sometimes it feels so overwhelming when it's like, okay, there's only this much I can do to help this huge problem that's terrifying and that's overwhelming, and it makes me deeply sad. Like, you know, that's the best way I can put it. And what helps me a lot to cope with that is just being aware of myself, being aware of things I can control, which is just myself, my daily habits. I can always just put myself in a better position to help other people. And that's all I want to do in life, I feel like. And I think that sometimes it puts a lot of pressure on me, because it makes me feel like when I'm not getting better, like becoming a better person, getting more productive, making more money, becoming more emotionally available, like when I'm not doing well at those things, I sometimes feel like I'm the reason the world is gonna fall apart, you know? It can get really scary in my mind at times, but remind myself that I cannot like save the world. This is not the worst I've done in terms of concealer, but it's pretty bad because I put powder under it, and that's not usually the order of operations. My makeup looks a mess right now because I'm talking so much. Like, how do people do this? But yeah, back to the stuff I was saying about like education and why it's so important to me. I feel like growing up Caribbean, if you guys don't know, I am Caribbean. I don't think I've ever mentioned that online before, because like sometimes it's just kind of strange, I feel like, to talk about Caribbeanness because there's so many like diaspora wars happening online, and I just don't subscribe to that kind of thing. I don't look down on Black Americans. I'm not going to talk down on them. Like, they're the whole reason that I can live in America comfortably, like, you know? But so sometimes I just kind of don't want to mention I'm Caribbean because I'm just like, don't pull me into any type of conversations that are like controversial when it comes to like the relations between different Black people, because I will start crying. I am Caribbean, and growing up Caribbean, a big thing for us is education, and education's like, I was very much pushed to get a good education, to always be good in school, to always strive for higher education. And it's just, that's what I did, you know. I was expected to go to college. I went to college. I got my degree. My mom even expected me to like go get like a master's and stuff, but I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't first of all, I'm not going to take out loans for more school, and I honestly don't, like, the type of person I am, I don't feel like I need school again. Like, I'm very much a self-taught type of person. If there's anything I want to look up and learn, I will do it on my own, and I don't think I need school to do that. I think I had a really good primer for how to teach myself and how I like to learn, that I don't think I need to be in a classroom anymore. I think anything I want, I could just go and get it. With Black women specifically, it's like, oh, if you don't know what you're doing in your life, go get a degree. I'm not gonna do that like ever. If I don't know what I'm doing with my life, I'll pivot for sure, but go and get a degree. I'm not sitting in anyone's classroom anymore. Like, I hate getting told what to do. That's another thing about me. I just don't like getting told what to do. I love learning, like I said, but I hate being in a classroom. I just don't like classroom settings. I don't like other people holding me back. I don't like having to like pace myself. I'll learn like as much as I can learn in the time frame that's most comfortable to me, and like reaches all my needs and questions and all of that. In terms of like my life right now, I live in Brooklyn. I actually recently moved to Bushwick. I used to live in Prospect Heights. It was a really good area. It just started getting like, the apartment I had specifically was not good. Like, there was like no natural light, and me and my partner just started to hate it there. So we were like, yeah, let's get the fuck. And so we moved to Bushwick, and we love our apartment now. It's so much nicer. I love the neighborhood. I love my neighbors. Like, everyone here is like super nice and welcoming and like cool. And I feel like where I live now just fits my vibe a lot better. I think before we just lived with a lot of like families, and we're just like not at that point in life right now, so it just does not really make sense to be there. But yeah, I'm really enjoying making content right now. I think it's, like I said, fulfilling that creative side of me that I just really need to help with my stress levels, because I am a very anxious and very stressed person. This is something I'm learning in my adulthood, that I have actually a good bit of anxiety that has developed over the past couple of years that I did not have before. I'm just learning how to deal with it, you know, like one day at a time type shit. I would like more to, I think, show my like more sides of myself on my page, because I tend to kind of just show the side of myself that, like I said, loves learning and loves teaching you guys about things, like, but I don't necessarily show like my funny side, my goofy side, like the side of me that my friends and family know most. So yeah, I'm trying to do that more and see, you know, what happens, because I do want to form like more of a relationship with you guys. I think, you know, I want to know what you guys are into, what you do, like things you want to see from me, but also like just like who even are you guys? Like, you know, like who are the people that follow me? Why do you follow me? What is it you're getting out of following? This sounds so like I don't have a self-esteem, but I'm just saying that genuinely. I would like to know, like, what is it you like about my video? What is it you would like to see more of? Like, what do you guys do for a living? What things are you interested in that I don't necessarily talk about? I just like to get to know you guys some more. This is definitely not the best beat I've done because I was very distracted by trying to talk. It's actually way harder than I thought to do a get ready with me. I thought this would be a piece of cake. I'm like, I'm talking to the camera, I'm doing the same makeup I do all the time, but somehow I've messed up several steps in my makeup. Okay, not the best beat I've ever done. I'm like, is this even match my skin tone right now? I can't. It looks fine, like, not on camera. On camera, I'm looking a little ghostly, but everything's gonna come together in a second. I swear. I'm in therapy right now, and things are going. If you're in therapy, you know, like, it's kind of like up and down. It's like some weeks you're like, oh, this is the best decision I've ever made, and some weeks you're like, why did I choose this for myself? Like, and I'm in one of those weeks where I was just like, bro, it's hard. It's funny because going into it, I did not expect it to be this challenging for me. I find myself to be someone that's very self-aware. And, you know, I am and all that, but like at the same time, when you have to delve into things that you don't necessarily want to think about and you realize, like, oh, snap, my mind hides things from me because I'm uncomfortable with them, you know, forces you to confront things that you really have never thought about because your mind hid it from you. And so it's very difficult and it's uncomfortable and gives me a lot of anxiety these days because I'm like, I go in my therapy sessions feeling like I have no idea what's about to happen and what emotions are about to come out of me right now. And I'm already not that great at like feeling my emotions and expressing them. In therapy, we're reading The Body Keeps the Score, and that's something that I put in my top 5 books of 2025. I don't even want to recommend that book, but I just have to because of how much it has helped me in my journey of like digging through my trauma. I'm on day 2 of my period right now, so like if I sound like I'm on day 2 of my period, that's why. The look I go for these days is just like a soft vampy look, because something about my face, like, I do not look good in just like a very minimal makeup. Like, I put on a lot of makeup. It probably doesn't look as if I put on as much makeup as I do, but I do, because my face just doesn't look good with less makeup on. It just doesn't. Okay, I'm pretty much done with my face. I'm just gonna, I have like, you hear that? Like almost none left of this, but I'm gonna set it with Urban Decay All Nighter. So yeah, this is the look. Did I say I was the best at doing makeup? No, I didn't. But yeah, this is what works for me. I'll see you guys in my next video.